Good morning, good morning, good morning, Jumbo, everybody. Jumbo simply means hello, good morning, happy Saturday. Today, we are going to be discussing how to sell, how not to sell your hours, or what to sell instead of your hours. What to sell instead of your hours. Another way, for those of you who are on TikTok, the topic for today is get paid your worth. Get paid your worth. Everything that we'll be discussing will be grounded in Million Dollar Mind, how to build a world-class coaching business from what you already know. My new book, The Million Dollar Mind, how to build a world-class coaching business from what you already know. And it is my most recent book. A lot of people do not believe that they can make more than what they are making right now. Some do, but a lot of people do not. You price yourself by the hour, and at the end of the day, you think, okay, I'm doing great. They're paying me this hourly rate, they're giving me the best industry rate out there. And you get stuck in that very position. So, if you are charging by the hour, you have already hit a limit, or you will eventually hit a limit. Most people just have to realize that if you are charging by the hour, you're going to hit a limit, or you have already done it, or you're eventually going to hit a limit wherever you are. A lot of people say, if they won't give you a 5% raise, change the company. If they won't give you a 5% raise, change the company, or change your company every 2 to 3 years so that you could keep maximizing that 5% raise that you get. So today I'm going to give you 3 shifts that stops you from pricing from this place that you're in, and the 3 shifts that stop you from pricing and negotiating constantly, from making pricing a decision, right? The decision that the other person makes, not you. So the client is either ready to invest in the outcome that you have to offer, or they are going to keep negotiating and negotiating. So I don't want you to walk away thinking that you have to keep defending yourself. No, that's not the point we are making here. The goal is that you would know what your value is, so that when you get to the client, they are not paying you for the hour, but they're paying you for the value that you bring, the clear path that you provide for them, or the clear result that you're going to bring to them. And with that clear result, they pay you, they choose to pay you, right? You're not chasing them to pay you. They choose to give you the money to do the work. And again, some people might think, oh, I'm good at my job. Some people might say, well, I don't sell hours. I'm already charging by the value that I provide. No problem. There's still value today in the discussions that we are going to have. So most experienced professionals hit a ceiling and do not generally know why. They are working hard, they are good at what they do, the results are there, but the income does not move the way it should. The gap is not a hustle problem. The gap is not that you're not working hard. It is generally a pricing problem. And it usually traces back to one thing. Experienced professionals are still selling time and not the value. It might look like an hourly rate, it might look like a project fee, it might look like a retainer, but if time and availability and what you are basing that particular price on, that is not, then that is a pricing issue. and it is a design flaw. And the pricing issue, again, leans on that idea of hourly. And working harder will not move you ahead. Working harder is not going to change that ceiling that you keep hitting. So availability becomes what you keep basing your work on, your worth on. Instead of basing it on value, you're constantly basing your worth and how you price and how you charge for your business, for your coaching business, for your product, even for the income that you make every year from a job that you do. Because when we say you're selling your hours, it's not just your coaching business, it's also what you do at work. How much are you getting paid at work? Is it hourly? And if it is hourly, why is it hourly? Has that hourly rate hit a ceiling or not? Again, working harder is not going to move you ahead. Working harder is not going to get you to the financial comfort that you seek. And here's why. So the better you get in what you do, in your expertise, the faster it is for you to solve problems. The faster you solve problems, the less time it takes. The less time it takes, the less you earn. In the past, I worked in the entertainment industry, and at one point, I felt like I was being penalized for being good at what I do. And every time I will get placed in a position to do a task that was really hard. And because I was doing a task that was hard, I will get featured. And then they will say, well, we've seen you on camera too much. And then I won't work for like 3, 4 days because now they have to finish maybe that episode so that I don't get seen too much as a background actor. So I was actually good at what I was doing because I've been doing it for so long. I got better at what I was doing, but I started making less because they would bring me in for tasks that were hard, and then I would not have the other days filled. So for a long time, I kept feeling like I was being punished, not necessarily punished, but I was paying the price of being good, not with increased pay, increased income, but with reduced income. And that's what some coaches do when they price by the hour. That's what some people do when they price by the hour, or even at your job site. When you say, okay, I make $40 an hour, woohoo, that's the industry standard. I'm really great at my job. Now I make $100 an hour, which is rare. Woohoo, now I have made it. So whatever that price is, whatever that number is that you're saying, oh, this is how much I make, so I have arrived. Know that arrive is still a ceiling that you've hit. And you might, at this very moment, be paying for being good at what you do. So pricing is not just a value issue in the sense that you don't have the skills, you don't know your worth, you don't know what the skills you bring to the table are worth, or that you haven't mastered that skill well enough to charge more. So it's not just that. It could be that you're so good that you've hit a ceiling where you are and your skills only apply at a niche position. So you end up not going past that, and you end up getting charged, getting paid for something that you're really good at, but you own because of the hourly thing, you do it faster, but again, you don't get paid for somebody that is an expert for what you do. You just get paid because, oh, it's 8 hour day. Or you in a coaching, you say, I can do this in 2 hours. Now pay me this for 2 hours. Right. So there's more nuances that goes into that warrants a deeper conversation. But for this session, I'm just touching on key things to get your mind thinking in a different direction. Now, you will say, I just raised my rate. Raising your rates does not always fix it. The ceiling moves, but the ceiling stays. The ceiling moves, but the ceiling still stays, right? Like you're still gonna hit a point where you're going to be uncomfortable to charge a certain amount. Or you're gonna hit a place in the industry where where the industry refuses to go past that amount. I mean, if you're working, say, you're working in academia, you're working in sales, you're working for a Fortune 500 company, there's good, and you're doing not a wage, but you're doing by the hour, there's going to be a ceiling. Even if you're doing a wage, there's going to be a ceiling that the company is not going to go past. Again, let's think, what is the client really paying for? What is the client really paying for? They are not paying you for the hour of your time. The result on the other side of the hour is what they are going for. Nobody hires you because you're going to work 8 hours. They hire you because you're going to bring value to their company. They hire you because you're good at something. They hire you because they want you to achieve for them a certain result. The years it took to make that result possible is what you're squeezing into an hour. You might be able to do that job in an hour, but you're not doing that job in an hour by just waking up one day and being able to do that. You're doing that job in an hour because you put in years and years and years of expertise into that. That's why you're good at what you do. It might not be years of expertise, it might be months of expertise learning the same thing. For people that are AI experts today, AI has only been around for, well, popularly to everybody's usage, to the average person. Nobody's technically average, but to the general public, that's a better word, to the general public for a few years, maybe 5 to 10 years. But there are people that are really good at it. Why? Because from the time that it was rolled out to the general public, most people have been working on it every day. And because they're working on it, they're so good at it. So when somebody is going to hire that person that is super great at AI right now, they're not hiring for the hourly rate that the person is going to provide. They're hiring for the result that you're going to provide their company. They're hiring you for what you can do to scale their business with AI. So the shortcut that you give them is based on tons of past mistakes that you made. So being able to just provide them a result and fast is based on all the learning that you've done, all the mistakes you've made, and everything that has gone into formation of the skill that you have. And you might be sitting on $1 million skill set without even realizing it, especially those of you that are great with AI today. There was an AI seminar that was happening, and I decided I want to jump into this and see what I don't know, right? Because I believe that I don't know a lot of things. So I like to know a lot of things. So I joined seminars and I learn. I join workshops. I join master programs, just so that, not as a master degree, but master coaching programs or a master course that is being offered. I joined because I want to know. And because I joined, I realized I know a little bit more about AI than I think that I know. And that realization pushed me further to go learn one more AI skill. And last night, I did not go to sleep until 3 a.m. because I was learning how to do something, one more thing in AI that I did not know how. Say, for example, somebody comes to me now and say, hey, we want you to do this for me, blah, 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 using AI. And I look at it and I say, okay, cool. You're going to charge me $500 to do that one thing, the one thing I learned last night, for example. And the person says, oh, that's too high. But I'm like, I did not just spend one night learning that skill. I had done a lot of other AI tutorships, other AI trainings, other AI hours of work to be able to spend last night learning that one extra skill. I needed all of those foundations in order to build that one skill. So if I charge you $500 for the hour to do that particular skill, you might see it as, oh my goodness, it's too high. But have you considered the work that it went in for me to be able to charge you that amount of money? And that is some of the logic that people miss when they start saying, oh, pay me $75 for this. I'm going to pay you $100 for that. I'm not saying there's no reason why anybody should get paid by the hour. That's not the argument here. The argument here is that there is a certain level of expertise that is beyond an hour, that is beyond the pay structure, the hourly pay structure. And you are the person that I'm talking to today. You are that expert that have built skills over many, 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 many years, but are still charging by the hour. Or if you're charging by the hour, you're not considering the overall foundations, the overall expense, the overall work that you put in to be able, the costly mistakes you made, to be able to deliver what you're delivering within that hour. And once you don't consider all of those things, it means you're undercharging yourself. You're undercharging yourself. One tool in my book that I use is the value ledger, where I sit down because I struggled with this. I struggled so much with this. And for those of you that do not know, I have a master's degree in business administration. I have bachelor's of science degree in business. I have associate degrees in business. I have a PhD in global leadership and change. And I still lean a lot with working with businesses. I started a nonprofit organization that has been running for over 20 years and done a lot of work on 2 continents. But when I went to get a job, I was given a ceiling. And I looked at that ceiling and I almost cried. I almost cried because I thought with everything that I have done, I was going to get paid so much money. I have a PhD. I am a doctor now. I'm going to get paid all this money. But they hit me with a ceiling and I was confused. I was not only confused, I was so heartbroken. But that was the company ceiling. That was the industry ceiling. And there was not much I could do about it. And I sat for 3.5 years and I worked harder and harder and harder and harder. And nothing changed. I just got more hours dumped. I just kept using up more hours, using up more energy, using up more, learning more things to make my arsenal bigger and bigger in the hopes that I was going to get that ceiling was going to burst. Oh, my company is going to see how great of a skill set I have, and they're going to give me more responsibility, more work, and maybe more hours. But it didn't come. It didn't come. So I had to sit back and say, what are my skills worth? And whose problem can I solve that will make it so much easier for somebody to pay me exactly what I'm asking them to pay me? Or what my value ledger is suggesting that they pay me. What value am I creating for you right now that allows you to hire me as your coach? After 45 minutes of talking to you, will you learn anything that is going to make your life better from all the things that I have built, that I'm squishing into an hour to give you? The $1 Million Mind is 30 $34.97. That's how much that book costs minus shipping, right? But in 1 hour, I am trying hard to give you a succinct overview of the book and the value in the book so that you don't even have to buy it, the book. I am giving you value. And right now, the only thing that you're paying for is your time. It's your time. For those of you who know Myron Gordon, he says nothing is free. I do not want anybody to work for me for free. And I don't want you to be here and not get something in return. So you are giving me your time right now. I am hoping that the things I'm telling you about pricing, about how to price your worth, is actually worth your time. So I am going to give you 2 things for free right now to add to the value of me being here talking to you about this issue. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comments so that I can answer it and create more value for you. If not, I want you to comment free chapter, and I will give you the free chapter of the $1 Million Mind so that you can work through the ledger in there and figure out what is your skill set, everything you've built from the time you started working till today. Even if you haven't started working, what are some of the skills that you have and how much are they worth to somebody else? With chapter 4, you can do all of that calculation and know exactly what it is. That way you can understand what the value is that you carry and who is willing to pay you what you are worth for that value to solve a problem for them. Not to sit in an office and click 8 hours and just say, oh, I clocked in my 8 hours today. I clocked in my 8 hours today. It's great. It's great. And I've done it many times. But I still realize that there is a skill set that can only be leveraged when I work with somebody one-on-one, when I work with somebody as their coach. I have so many skill set from many years of experiences that is just wasting in an office or wasting in a classroom that is structured. The curriculum is already there. And if you don't know, I'm an adjunct professor at several schools. But I want to reach more people. I want to create more impact. I want to solve problems for people. And sometimes the classroom limits that. So, how can I help you today? If I cannot help you today, I have two other offers for you, like I've already mentioned. The Value Ledger, which is chapter 4 of the Million Dollar Mind, how to build a world-class coaching business from what you already know. Comment and I'll give you that book for free. I'll give you that chapter for free. Comment link, comment chapter, and I'll give that to you for free. Also, if you want to calculate your value, what your value is worth as a coach or somebody that is thinking about coaching, I have another tool for you, and it's the Value Ledger Calculator. If you don't want to read the whole chapter, you just want something quick, comment, and I'll also send you the link. Reach out to me, and I'll also send you that link. You can inbox me, you can comment, you can go to the link on my bio, and I will send you the link so that you can just plug in your numbers and it will automatically calculate it for you. So we know what the client is actually paying for. The client you work with, your job that hire you, they are paying for results. They're not paying for you to clock in and clock out, which is required. If you work a 9 to 5, it is required for you to clock in and clock out. But the most important thing that you should know is that you are being hired for the problem you are solving for the company. You are being hired for the result you can create. If I go on a temp website to hire for somebody, I'm not just looking for somebody, I'm looking for somebody that can solve that particular problem for me at that time. And I pay them for the result. I work with a book cover designer a few months ago. I paid them a certain rate. And then I hired them again. And at that point, when I hired them the first time, I did not know what their worth was. Or I could feel also that they did not know. And I paid them what they requested. After working with me on the Million Dollar Mind, I went back to them for a second book that I'm working on. And I say, hey, I need you to do a cover for me. They did not do a perfect job the first time. There was a lot of mistakes that were made. I had to pick up a lot of the tab. I had to do a lot of correction. It was so incredibly frustrating. But the job eventually was finished in collaboration. This time around, I gave them the job again because we've already gone through the mud. I already know what they can bring to the table. And they charged me higher. I didn't even argue. I just paid them what they charged me because I knew what to expect from them. I was in a place where I knew their worth. I knew how much. If they charged me a certain amount, I would have said no because I already know their worth. And I think they knew their worth because when they charged me and the way they communicated their worth to me, when I asked them about designing this new cover, was completely different from the first time. And that is an experience that just happened recently. So I want you to think about your delivery method, to think about hourly rate as a delivery method and not as a value. So the company hires you for 8 hours because they think you can deliver this for 8 hours. It doesn't mean that you can only spend 8 hours to deliver that product. Any company that is constricting you to taking 8 hours to finish a job that you can finish in 2 does not know your worth. They do not know your worth. And you need to calculate your worth and find somebody that can actually pay you the same rate that your company is paying you for 8 hours for 1 hour. Find somebody that can pay you for what you're doing for your organization for 8 hours, for you to do it for them for 1 hour. That is a shortcut to actually charging your worth. You know your worth. You know the value you bring. Find somebody that you can solve a problem for them and make sure that you are charging them what your company will charge. If you can do the job for in 1 hour and do it well, okay? Don't go and say, Dr. Akumbu said I should go and my company pays me, say what, $200 a day. I should go now and charge $200 an hour, and then you are not able to deliver that work in 1 hour. Nah, don't go embarrassing yourself. No, that's not what I am telling you to do. I'm telling you to figure out how fast you can do that job in a premium level, and then find somebody that can pay you what your company pays you for 8 hours to do that job. Find somebody that can pay you for the hours that you can effectively deliver, and have them pay you for those number of hours. If you don't want to start a coaching business, you don't want to go and actually calculate your value, which I'm offering you the tools for free. If you don't want to do all of that, then just go ahead and figure out at your job site, how much am I getting paid per day? How long does it actually take me to do the job that I'm getting paid 8 hours to do? And then once you know that, then you find somebody that can pay you that same amount for those hours, and find them, solve their problem for them, and charge them that amount. You will realize that you're increasing you're starting to knock down that ceiling that the company places. You're starting to knock down that ceiling. I'm not saying steal company secrets. That's not what I'm saying. Don't go taking somebody's company secrets and delivering it as yours. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But build a skill set that is your own skill set, and then go ahead and actually offer that to somebody else. Design your own. For example, the $1 Million Mind, How to Build a World-Class Coaching Business from What You Already Know, is my new book. That book was influenced with years of working, starting my own nonprofit. I don't own it because a nonprofit cannot be owned. There are people that work with me. There are people that are part of this nonprofit. So it was a joint collaboration to create. I might have been the founder, but there was a lot of people that made that nonprofit a nonprofit. I still makes it a nonprofit, right? So when I say my nonprofit, I'm not saying I'm alone there. There's a lot of us there, but I am one of the main people that started, the founding fathers of that, founding mothers, whatever you want to call it, of the nonprofit, right? So that book has combination of many things, combination of my education, combination of that, combination of the people that I sit under, all the leaders that I listen to. Think all the big coaches that are out there that I follow, I listen to. All of them have inspired me to be able to write the $1 Million Mind book. A ton of research to write the $1 Million Mind book. So what I'm sharing with you today is one, a personal struggle that I went through, and also years of experience, and also research a ton of research. And research comes easy to me because one of my degrees makes me a researcher. So the value that I bring is really high compared to some, maybe to one or two people that might go into the value ledger calculator and calculate their own value. And that's not bragging. That's understanding worth. And unless you can understand your worth and understand the value that you bring, you're going to hear something like this and think, oh, she's bragging. No, I'm not bragging. It took a lot of mental work for me to get to the place where I am, to tell you what I'm telling you. So it's not a matter of bragging. So the shift is this: stop pricing the hour and start pricing the outcome. The result that your clients want is what you should be pricing, not how many hours you're going to do it, to spend doing it. So the result your best client, just think about it. If you're already coaching, you're already in this world, you're already doing this, you're already offering jobs on the side, you're already doing some of this work, one-on-one work or group work, where you're offering something to people and solving problems for them. So the result your best client consistently walk away with, that is your offer. Not the number of sessions attached to it, but the results. Not the number of hours you spend. If you're a plumber, you can come in there and fix a problem in an hour and charge so much more than another person, another plumber that comes in that is new, that spends 5 hours. So the second shift is understanding what you are already bringing to the room. Your education, your expertise, your intellectual property, your frameworks, your judgment. All of that existed before the client sat down with you. The session is just where they access it. Access, right? That is the place where they get access to it. You are not billing for what happens during the hour. You are pricing access to everything that made the hour possible. When you see it that way, the math changes completely. And the conversation with your client changes. You are no longer justifying your rate. You are showing them that they are getting they are getting relatively what they are paying for. So you are showing what they are getting relative to what they are paying for. That is a different posture from just saying, I work 8 hours and this is how much you pay me per hour. The third shift is the offer itself that you're making to your client. Most experts package their work around availability. How many sessions? How many hours? How much access do you have to me? That model is still hourly, just with it in a different shape. A real offer is packaged around the target outcome. What the specific result this person will have at the end of working with you. Everything in the offer exists to deliver that result and not to fill time. My job is not to keep you busy. I do not like busy work. I do not like busy work. Tell me that you're good at what you do And that if you say, I'm going to give you this product in 3 days, give me a quality product in 3 days. I hire a lot from other websites. I don't want to be listing websites here just in case some people have issues with them. I hire from 10 websites, and there is one lady that was really nice, wonderful personality, and I hired her a few times. And I later realized that her work was missing attention to details. Then another guy came to me when I was hiring. Well, I decided to hire the lady, but this other guy came to me and said, "Hey, I could do this and do that and do that for you." And for the same amount, they offered more. But I really liked the other lady, so I went and worked with her. Eventually, I brought the other guy because he had offered something that the other lady did not offer, and it was unique. So I finished up with the lady, and I decided I'm going to give this guy a project just to help to see how they work. And they did a wonderful job. They went above and beyond. And since then, I've hired them maybe 4 times. They come back to me and they're just like, "Oh, I don't have anything doing right now. Can you do this? Can I do this for you on your site? And then you can pay me whenever you like." I'm not saying that's how you should run your business, but you have to build trust with somebody to be able to do that. And because I knew their result, I said, "Look, I don't want you to work for free. I have a book called The Million Dollar Mind, How to Build a Workout Coaching Business from What You Already Know." I'm not trying, and I tell people to charge what they're worth and get paid what they're worth. So I'm not going to sit here and pay you what you're and not pay you for a job or pay you whatever. Say, tell me what you want. And then they told me what they would charge for cleaning up. And I looked at it and said, I don't need this, but I'll take this. And I just keep working with them because every time they come to the table, they bring something valuable. So I want you to think like that. Every time you come to the table, are you bringing something valuable? And if you're in an industry, a company, sitting at a table with a company that on a company that in a company that is not letting you bring value to the table, and then you need to reconsider. You need to reconsider. You should not be replaceable in the table in which you're sitting. You should not be replaceable. If you think that you are not fulfilling your impact where you are, rethink it. Maybe reach out to me. Let's figure this out. Let's decide where you truly belong and where you can create the highest impact and create the greatest value for somebody. Somebody out there is looking for you. Don't limit yourself. Don't put a ceiling. Don't think, oh, I'm already getting the industry limit. Let's talk. Let's figure out how to knock that ceiling down. Yeah? All right. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to send me an inbox, a DM to let me know that you would like to knock that ceiling down and get paid what you're worth, or stop charging by the hour. Stop selling hours to people. Start selling value. Start selling value. Start selling solutions. Start creating impact and selling that. When these three things are in place, pricing stops being a negotiation and starts being a decision. The client is either ready to invest in that outcome or they are not. You are not defending yourself. You're presenting a clear path to a specific result and letting them choose. And letting them choose. Even if they say, oh, I cannot pay that amount, maybe there is something in that tier that they can pay for. Maybe there's that one skill set. Maybe they cannot pay for the entire skill set. There's that one skill set that they can pay for. Let them pay for that. That is the difference between selling time and selling value. And everything we are covering today lives inside that difference. So, point one, the hourly model punishes you for being good. As we recap, the better you get, the faster you solve problems. The faster you solve problems, the less time it takes. The less time it takes, the less you earn under that hourly model. You built expertise for years, and the reward is earning less per engagement. The model has a structural ceiling. No amount of rate increases fully solves that issue. Need a new strategy. An hourly model does not just cap your income, it punishes your growth. Every improvement in your skills makes the problem worse. So you just keep accumulating skills, and the ceiling is not moving. It's a model problem. It's a model problem. And my job is to make sure that you fix that model problem. So don't forget to reach out. Point two, what people are actually paying you for, not an hour of your time. The result on the other side of the hour is what they are paying you for. The years of expertise that make that result possible in an hour is what they're paying you for. The shortcut you give them from past mistakes you've already made is what they're paying for. The hour is the delivery method. It is not the value. And again, comment Value Ledger for a free chapter from my book that will help you figure out your value. And then if you don't want to read the entire book, I have a calculator. You could just plug things in and get an idea. Get an idea of what that value is. Price the outcome, not the hour. Price the outcome and not the hour. The outcome is the reason they came. The hour is just how it gets delivered. Like the things I have delivered within this 40 minutes that I've been talking, no, 50 minutes almost 50 minutes that I've been talking. I did not learn that by typing into ChatGPT or typing into some AI and asking it to give me this information. I knew somebody say, why are you a coach when you can get it from, when you can use AI? That's true, but there is nuances. There are tons of nuances that AI does not know. So if you think you're just going to easily know something that somebody has built over 30 years, taken 30 years to build, then you're putting too much trust in AI. AI is great. The AI is not that great that you're going to replace human with AI. I am of the school of thought that you use AI and human together, not just AI. AI, human, AI, human. AI can help you to be better at what you do, but there's certain things that only a human can help you do. So saying that you're going to replace why do you need a coach when you have AI is a fallacy, and it's an issue that we should all sit with. And remember, there are certain things that only a human can do. Look at the companies that fired a bunch of people and then are now hiring them back. Learn how to use AI, how AI should be used, and learn when to have a coach, when to have a model. I have a PhD, like I've mentioned many times. I've studied a lot of years. I have 7 degrees, but I have a coach. I have a coach. And The coach doesn't have to say much. One or two things, bam, shift something in me, and I go do something that might have been stopping me. I am on my third book right now, just because of one little thing that my coach said that shifted something within me. Before, it was just like, oh no, don't write a book. Oh, it's a waste of time. You're not gonna make money. So I didn't write a book. But when I hired a coach and I paid a lot of money to get that coach, he said one little thing, and now I am on my third book. I already had a couple of books or three before coming in, but I wasn't writing the kind of books that are at the level at which I had built expertise. So now I am writing those books. The amount of time I spend writing articles and going through peer reviews and publishing, not saying that was bad. I have published in academia, I have good work done in academia and published, but I don't have a book to show for it. So I'm working on that. And also, the $1 Million Mind, How to Build a World-Class Coaching Business from What You Already Know. That book is already available, which is basically documenting my own journey as a coach. I haven't arrived where I would like to. And I'm knocking down those ceilings so that I can get to where I know my value can take me. What are you doing? And how can I get you there? How can I help you get you there? What do you think you are worth? What impact do you think you can create? And how can I help you get you there? Just as my coach is helping me get me there. Third book in how many? December, March I published. Now I'm almost October I should be publishing. December I should be publishing. At least that's the timeline. That's 3 books in a year that I was sitting on until my coach pushed me forward and helped me knock down that ceiling. Not because they said something fancy, but because I needed another human to say one or two things, one or two words that shifted something. And I'm hoping that today something has shifted to make you start thinking about your value and the impact you create differently. All right, point 3. Let me do this so that we can wrap up. How to start building a different model. Identify the result your best client consistently get from working with you. That result is the offer, not the number of sessions or the hours attached to it. Package around outcome. What does it take to deliver that result reliably? A program, a retainer, a group, cohort, a license system? Pick the structure that fits you best. The mindset shift required. Think about the mindset shift required to get you there. Charging for outcomes. So the mindset shift here that I want you to take away with also is charging for outcome is not dishonest. It is most honest than charging for time you could spend more efficiently. If I say I charge $500 an hour, I'm not trying to be dishonest or to be greedy. I am charging because I have built the arsenal of things that allows me to do that particular job efficiently in that hour. So I'm not basically saying you can never charge per hour. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there are different models out there, and the book gives you several other models. But if you're going to charge per hour, please do the math and know what your expertise and your skill sets are really worth, and how quickly you can do that, and then charge for those hours that you can efficiently work. If you can do a $200 job that somebody takes 8 hours to do, you can do it in 3 hours. They charge 3 hours $200, and then get 3 or 4 clients and charge them $300 each. You're still gonna make more than putting a ceiling and never letting that ceiling break. So I'm hoping that today what you've learned from this session is why the hourly model structurally limits income no matter how good it gets. I am speaking from experience. I'm quitting academia because of this. There is such a limit. For 3 years, I worked hard, I published, I did everything. Nothing changed. I just kept getting, yes, I'm not saying that I am ungrateful. I'm not ungrateful because so many people made sure that I am where I am and the jobs that I did. So I'm not being ungrateful. I'm saying that I hit a ceiling and I am basically working my way out of breaking that ceiling and moving into a place where my true value is being put out there. So the difference, so three things. The hourly model structurally limits income no matter how good it gets. The difference between pricing your time and pricing your value. I hope that's another thing you took away from today. How to start identifying and building an outcome based offer. How to start solving problems. How to start creating impact. Solution, solution, solution. Impact, impact, impact. Results, results, results. The $1 million mind goes deep into this. The $1 million mind goes deep into this. The way you think about the value is what determines how you price it. Grab your copy. The link is in the bio. Or listen to this episode again. Learn from it. Reach out to me if you need more help. I'm here to help you get to where you want to go. I'm here to help you break down that ceiling. I'm here to help you build solutions in your community. I'm here to help you bring to life that business, that idea, that product that you've been wanting to create and finish, but have not had the chance to do so. That is my honor and my pleasure. So reach out when you're ready. Link in the bio. Don't forget to buy a copy of The $1 Million Mind, How to Create a World-Class Coaching Business from What You Already Know. Thank you. I will see you hopefully Monday at 9 a.m. Hopefully Monday at 9 a.m. Jambo karibu. Asante. That's Swahili for thank you. I think I said it right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. For those of you that were on TikTok, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those of you that are listening to this again, thank you for listening. Reach out if you need help. Bye.